Behind closed doors, something big is happening at Room to Room Tupelo.
For 3 days only, unlock hidden savings at our on-site secret warehouse sale. Furniture, rugs, accessories, everything must go. Don't wait. The secret warehouse sale ends Saturday at 6 p.m. at Room to Room.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, have you had a good evening so far? I hope so, because this forecast has been 10 out of 10 and we've gotten to experience it all week long, but all of that does start to shift over the next couple of days. So lots to talk about here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and yes, we've had a calm pattern, and a lot of you probably have tuned out from the weather world just because there hasn't been too much to talk about. Well, heading into Friday, things start to shift and set the scene for what should be an active Saturday. Let's get into that forecast. So, of course, a simple but prominent feature for our Friday is the warmer conditions. I mean, we're just going to be seeing those temperatures gradually climb once again into more of a late summer-like feel. And I don't really enjoy that. I want some more of that fall-like weather. And I know a lot of you are in the same boat as me. We're only a couple days from that happening, but we do have a few days that we have to get through until then. Football is back this week. Of course, our Thursday nights, we are less than 24 hours away from high school kickoff. And this time tomorrow, we'll know the score, the final score from our game of the week there in Houston versus Itawamba. Should be a great game. I'm expecting a lot from both teams, so I just need some good highlights, guys. That's really what I'm asking for, and a great ending to the game so we can kind of watch that, grab our popcorn, and enjoy another good Friday night. But the thing that we're all kind of watching for is the latest on Saturday's severe weather. And of course, we have been tracking that all week long, talking to you about the changes, the trends, and things of that nature. And we have, yes, another update to that trend as short model runs are starting to get a little bit better of a resolution on those on what's to take place. And we'll talk more detail on that here in just a moment, but really getting a better idea, and it's almost verifying, I say almost, it is verifying what we've been saying all along. And that's a good thing for our forecast. But let's bring it back. We have a fantastic forecast until Saturday. The first 11 p.m., 66 degrees, dropping off to low 60s towards tomorrow morning. Yes, low 60s for the start of the day in mid-October. Pretty warm, right? But as the day goes on, we'll really feel that warm air getting into our afternoon. And by 11 a.m., we're already 78 degrees. By noontime, 81. So who ordered the microwave? Because I'm ready for us to get out of it at this point. Let's go ahead and get into a beautiful view outside as we can take a look there in Batesville. Beautiful, clear skies. I almost said blue skies just because I've been saying that a lot here recently. But a little bit of those stars showing up. So dew point's not extremely high just yet, not getting those fully cloudy skies, but dew point's right around 63 degrees. That's warmer. That's at least higher than what it has been the past few days, showing that moisture returning to the forecast. Currently, wind's pretty calm there in Batesville, but if we jump out east towards Fulton, dew point's at least a little bit better. So all of that moisture pushing in from the west and right here in the North Mississippi. So folks out west, of course, getting that dew point a little bit higher quicker than folks out in Fulton. But roadways pretty calm right now. Skies pretty calm right now. Just another calm night across North Mississippi. Dare I say, a silent night. I'm trying to speak Christmas into the forecast, so maybe we can get some cool weather, right? Mississippi Live Weather Radar does have those dry conditions no matter where you're at. So of course, we'll be dealing with that this evening, again, with those clear conditions, but a little bit of that cloud cover is starting to build out there towards the west, towards the Mississippi River, and that's going to, of course, affect us later on. Rainfall totals, the past 24 hours, the past 7 days, nothing, not even a drop across the region. But expanding things out, you can kind of see the positioning of that front right there towards western sections of Kansas, Pueblo, Colorado. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning over there towards Colorado as well. That is a realistic possibility as that front extends further towards the east, right here to North Mississippi. And to get some folks excited about that front, because there is some benefits with it, I'll talk about that in a moment. Some of those totals are coming in. Oh, I can't see it. Let's see if we can click off of that, move it a little bit up. 2.1 inches. So yeah, that's a realistic possibility, and that's why our flash flooding threat is a little bit higher than some of our other severe weather parameters. But yeah, 2 inches of rainfall over a short period of time. Definitely need that here in North Mississippi, and definitely will not complain. Just don't flood us out. That's our only request, right? So let's go ahead and get into our surface analysis here real quick. And as you can see, dry here in North Mississippi. But if we expand things out, you can see that front a little bit better pictured right there as it continues to gradually move east, and still getting a few thunderstorms along that as well. But we're still being dominated by high pressure. I mean, this ridging pattern has been over the top of us for the past several days. That northerly wind still cycling in, but our high pressure a little bit more east than where it was yesterday, and that's making our winds come more out of the northeast, almost easterly flow as of this point. And that, as high pressure continues to push out there towards the east, let me kind of draw this picture here for you, continues to drive out there towards the east. Well, whenever it's, right here over the northeast, those winds more like this pattern right here. And then we're getting some of those southerly winds or southeasterly winds bringing in that Gulf moisture back towards the region and upping those dew points as a result, destabilizing the air right as a cold front arrives, right? It's the perfect setup, the perfect storm. But luckily, there are some things that are not in place that will keep those severe chances minimal. And that's a good thing in that extended forecast. So Futurecast does have that front progressing overnight and pushing all of this moisture with it. Again, we have this ridge right here, trough right here, and those things working together with the jet stream to kind of transition a little bit east and push that high pressure into the Atlantic. So the winds, of course, interacting with the high pressure, setting the scene as this front rolls on through. But then we get high pressure back behind it, and that's going to keep our forecast cool, dry. I would dare say, do I say chilly? Is it too early for chilly? It's never too early for chili. I love chili. But Friday morning, anyway, sorry, tangent aside, I don't know how that got in the conversation. But let's go ahead and get back here into the Twin States so you can get a better visualization on that cloud cover for our Friday morning. This is a look at 6 a.m. and there's those winds still coming out of the east just a bit, and that's already driving a little bit of that moisture back into the forecast. We do see this line of showers that starts to develop there towards Arkansas. I think a lot of that will be elevated as we get into our Friday late morning, early afternoon time frame. So yes, have the rain gear if you're over there towards Greenville or Yazoo City or Hollandale, any of those areas right there, but don't really be expecting to use it. A lot of this is still going to be elevated, but some of that reaching the surface and giving us at least a few drops of rainfall as we get into that forecast. Friday, 1 p.m., still seeing those showers trying to linger in the forecast, but I mean, look at how light those are on our scale. Basically, I mean, the most limited amount that we could possibly see, and that really tells us on Futurecast, especially coming out of a dry environment, that is not reaching it all the way to the surface. We need our atmosphere to become a little bit more moist in the grand scheme of things for that to take place. So the next 24, yes, we do have that moisture trying to return. Those easterly winds coming out about 3 miles an hour, but then we start to move more into those southerly winds, and that's that Gulf moisture replenishing all of that energy here in North Mississippi, and again, setting the scene for what could possibly be a more active Saturday, at least thunderstorm-wise, but maybe for a few strong storms as well. Partly cloudy conditions linger in the forecast all throughout our morning before clearing up just a bit into our Friday afternoon. But coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center, we'll be walking through that forecast in a bit more detail in regards to our football forecast. We all love that, right? Our game of the week forecast as well, and we'll also be tracking those college forecasts. And we also have another look at the severe weather threat because that is still a big highlight over the next several days. So keep it here for the very latest. We'll, of course, walk you through that forecast in more detail here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We'll see you back here in the next minute.
Visualize perfection, freshly picked ingredients, tantalizing flavors, sweet and sour intertwine, and dance into your glass. One-of-a-kind arrangements, hitting every note. Why wait for the weekend? It's on at the grill.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We usually start this segment with some of our views outside, but what better view than a view submitted by our weather watchers out there in the field. This submitted by Grady in Boonville, and as you can see, that sun's setting, and he is in the band. Give him a little shout out. So, was in the band formerly myself, a saxophone player, so I'll take a trumpet. I mean, close enough, right? See, the thing about saxophone, now I'm going to go into a tangent here. It has brass on it, but it's a woodwind instrument. So I feel like we are accepted by both sides, both brass and woodwinds. But I feel like, you know what, trumpet. Actually, Grady, I need to ask you, would you accept saxophones as a part of the brass club? I don't know. It depends on who you are. Anyway, band nerd aside, you can see that sunset in the distance, those beautiful blue skies. So as they were wrapping up band practice day, enjoyed some great conditions. Northeast also celebrating homecoming right across the street, so they got to enjoy that as well. Boonville, action-packed scene. So if you weren't able to get out there, you definitely missed out this evening. But hopefully you still got outside and made some great plans to enjoy the beautiful forecast. Maben, 75 degrees, feels like 77, and Dew Point currently set 59 degrees. Comparatively speaking, out west, we're still in the low 60s, so a little bit more moisture out west as that front builds in a little bit more. Cleveland kind of showcasing that a little bit, 66 right now. Dew Point's up there, a little bit cooler, 55 degrees, but although it doesn't say breezy conditions up there, the flag telling us a different story. A little bit breezy there on the surface, so folks over there enjoying a little bit of that breeze, but starting to cycle in more from the northeast easterly flow. Transition in the forecast definitely taking place, setting the scene once again for Saturday. Let's go ahead and get a look at Mississippi. Ooh, we got one more. Jumped the gun. I apologize for that. This is more the story I was trying to get across to you guys. 65 degrees, but dew point 62. So that humidity climbing ever so slightly, and that humidity, a sign that moisture is back in the forecast. All right, now Mississippi Live Weather Radar. As you take a look outside, just those clear and dry conditions once again. I'm enjoying the radar not tracking anything. I know that's been something we've had the past several days, but heading into Saturday, that's become a bit of a different story, as we'll have plenty to track as that front rolls on through. So let's go ahead and look at that severe weather risk currently with that level 1 threat for folks along Highway 45, along Highway 82 for the most part, except for folks in Greenville, and for the southern part of I-55. The main locations that you need to know that are in that level 2 risk are for folks along Highway 61 from Greenville all the way up there to Memphis. So that's really our primary area that we are watching for some of that leftover energy to maybe produce some strong storms and possibly even severe storms. So that level 2 threat still remains in place, and there is still a little bit of energy being shown on our long track models. So I believe that to stay in place, that level 1 threat though I feel like is expanded a bit too far east. I'll say there's a little bit of energy in the air that could produce a few strong storms. I don't know if I'm fully set on severe storms reaching all the way east to the Alabama state line. But I mean, things change in the forecast. We're starting to get some of those high resolution model runs, which we'll see here in a moment. That'll kind of get us a better idea on that forecast. But that bullseye still right in the middle of Arkansas. So folks in Little Rock, shout out Joel Young. He's going to be busy tomorrow, or Saturday, as that front rolls on through. So say a prayer for folks out there. Hopefully this is just, a few gusty winds at most, and we just get to go on with our day. But this is one that we're going to continue to monitor here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Midnight this evening, 65 degrees towards tomorrow morning, partly cloudy conditions and 60 degrees. So it is going to be a milder start to the day, especially considering tomorrow is October 17th. Guys, where's fall? Who took it? I mean, I'm ready for it to come back, right? So Friday evening does have that cloud cover pushing in, and this is really the reason why we're not cooling off nearly as much. Whenever you take those clear skies away and you put clouds over the top, imagine it like a blanket. You put a blanket over your body, it's to kind of trap that heat and to keep you warm. Well, same thing with the atmosphere. We bring our blanket in, that cloud cover, and that kind of traps the heat and keeps our atmosphere warm at the surface. Whatever heat is left over, it's kind of just reflected or deflected off of the cloud cover back to the ground, and we absorb it yet again here at the surface. And so that's why we don't see those temperatures cool off drastically whenever there's cloud cover in the sky. So mostly cloudy conditions, that'll do all the work that it needs to do to keep us on the warmer side for our Friday morning. I mean, taking a look at those low temperatures, especially out west, 63 Cleveland, Greenwood, 64 Greenville. We trend a little bit more out east, and we are getting a few more upper 50s showing up towards Eupora and Bruce, and even up there around Boonville. But then we really jump east towards northwest Alabama, 54 there towards Hamilton. So some areas are better than others, but still nonetheless above where we should be for this time of year. Pick up at the school bus, I would still say you can bring the long sleeves. Some people might need it, some others might, and some others that might is including my wife. She always tells me, Gabe, there are cold-natured people in this world, and they need the long sleeves whenever there's a 50 in the forecast. Well, guys, there is a 50, although it's a 59. So for the sake of my wife and every other cold-natured person, bring the long sleeves. But if you're like me, short sleeves will do. But heading into that afternoon, I think we can all agree short sleeves will be necessary. 86 degrees is a toasty forecast for this time of year, and some areas could be in the 90s. Greenwood especially included within that. We'll see that here in just a moment. I want to bring it back into Futurecast because this is our latest model run, and it does have that front extending a little bit closer there towards Oklahoma by 7:30 on your Friday. So that will continue to propagate a little bit more east, bringing with it that moisture and that unstable air. So we saw a moment ago that we will get these showers that are trying to move into the region. A lot of this going to be an elevated system, so a lot of this not even reaching the surface, unfortunately. But I think we do get a few drops, especially west of 55 in our forecast tomorrow. So that's a good thing for some folks that are in desperate need of rainfall. But I think we are all in desperate need of rainfall, so we would all take any rainfall that we can get. But with how dry the atmosphere is, it's going to be a recovery process throughout our Friday as it kind of destabilizes that atmosphere, setting the scene for that front on our Friday. So by 3 p.m., very limited moisture, but I expect a lot of that moisture to really be in the form of cloud cover, maybe a few drops. That's really the extent that I'm going to push this, and I'm kind of gritting my teeth thinking about it because I don't know if that'll even verify with how dry it is here on the surface here in North Mississippi. So into our 6 p.m. forecast, that line continues to develop, but I mean, it's more moist up here compared to where we're getting down there. So we'll see a little bit more in detail heading into our forecast tomorrow morning. Our meteorologist Maggie McCauley will have the latest. So all the more reason to tune in and see if you need that rain gear, but I would say be on the safe side, have an umbrella in the back seat. That's where I've gotten to this time of year. I have an umbrella in the backseat of my car just in case, because those pop-up showers can definitely develop whenever temperatures are this warm. I mean, take a look at this. 88 Houston, 88 Bruce, 89 Grenada. I said Greenwood, 92 in Greenwood. Woo, man, that is toasty. And then 91 in Belzona. So a lot of locations is going to be well above average. We could even break a few records whenever we consider the grand scheme of things. 90 degrees is our record for tomorrow. With temperatures being as warm as they are, wouldn't be surprised. But heading into our high school game of the week forecast presented by Casey Lott, this is going to be as honestly ideal as conditions can be because it's been a little bit chilly as we wrapped up games the past couple of weeks. Not really the case this week. 68 degrees by that final snap. I think we're still doable to get a short sleeve to walk out of the stadium and make that commute home. But I mean, this is just going to feel a little bit different than the past couple of weeks. But luckily, that dry air is still in place. So if you're looking to head to any of those football games, no rain gear needed for any game across North Mississippi. It's going to be a very ideal forecast. Let's keep Futurecast going. And this is well into our Friday evening. And I'm going to take it out once again because models aren't exactly going to carry this front all the way through. This is one of our high resolution models. This is our HRRR, if I can get my, there is. And so this is a better view on what to expect over the next couple of hours, and especially as this enters Arkansas, and we kind of get the idea of when it will move into North Mississippi. So this is 9 p.m. on your Friday, and as that continues to push east, very, very slow. I want to emphasize that because what was the strike model saying earlier today? Speed. I am speed. Shout out Lightning McQueen because that's what that rule was following. And yeah, not the case whenever we're talking about this front. I mean, pushing into our Saturday morning, we're still talking about not even through Oklahoma City at this point, not even through Tulsa. This is 6 a.m. on Saturday. As of the strike model, it was all the way in eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas at this point. It does catch a little bit of speed, so similar to what we were tracking with the strike model earlier on. But let's get a look at some of what's happening right now. So this is 9 a.m. and you do see a few of these storms on the uptick just a bit. This kind of setting the scene as we get into our afternoon forecast. So by the time we get to this point, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, off there towards I don't even know how you say that. Pateau? I don't know. But that town right there. Could see a few strong storms, especially along that leading edge. We do see a few storms that maybe could have a few embedded brief tornadoes, but that's not really the ideal atmosphere setup that we have right now. This is more primarily going to be a wind event and heavy rainfall event, and that's what I would expect, especially along this leading edge right here. So this is 12 p.m. on your Saturday. Let's get more into that 3 o'clock hour, and you can see how that kind of juts out just a bit. Now, the difference is that we were seeing that a little bit more east than what we're getting right here in our HRRR model, but this Boeing segment right here has been pretty synonymous with both model runs. Now, what this means is this Boeing segment is going to have some of those stronger wind gusts as that kind of juts out ahead of the system, and we could be talking 60 plus mile an hour winds right there towards Little Rock. So definitely need to pay attention to that forecast if you are heading out west, but I think both of our teams are traveling east. So there really should be no reason we're heading out west unless it's to go visit family or anything like that. Getting into our 6 o'clock hour, it does have it moving into the area by 6 p.m. West Helena, Memphis, Hernando. But look at the difference in strength compared between the two. And we'll get a little better look at this whenever we're talking about fuel with this model as well, coming up tomorrow morning. But I just want to say that a lot of the more intense parts of this system are going to be down there towards northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. That's where you're getting those blacks, those reds, things like that are showing some deeper cores of these storms. I mean, up north, look at this, guys. This is very, really what we want. Just some heavy rainfall at most and a few rumbles of thunder, but I think we avoid that severe part of it for the most part. There will still be some fuel in the atmosphere. And actually, I want to take it back here real quick and kind of speed run this real quick because I want to take a look at any prefrontal development here in North Mississippi. So bear with me one moment. We're going to go through this forecast once again all throughout our Saturday morning. And I'm curious to see if this has any development of some scattered showers like what our strike model had earlier on. So this is 6 a.m. on Saturday. We do see that cloud cover building in, a little bit of that moisture out there towards Gardendale, Alabama and Birmingham, but so far in the clear here in North Mississippi. 12 p.m. still not dealing with anything. And as we get further into that forecast, aside from a few prefrontal showers right there towards Wynne and Forest City, Arkansas, here in North Mississippi, we are staying on the drier side. So fuel, it's definitely going to be there for the potential, but just how much of that daytime heating is still in place to keep this going. Sun sets at 6:30. So at that point, your daytime heating is depleting at a rapid rate. And then what do you have left? So that's several factors that we're looking at, but not exactly, it's kind of shaping up how we expected it to, right? And so I think for folks, so far, I think a lot of us are going to dodge a bullet, but there will still be that potential for 1 or 2 severe storms. But I think that we are looking at a better setup than what we were talking about even days ahead of where we are at right now. Those winds still blowing in out of the south, and that's going to destabilize our atmosphere as well. That cloud cover actually helping to stabilize our atmosphere, but some breaks in that could definitely take place. And there's a look at some prefrontal showers as well. So this working to stabilize our atmosphere as well. So all this working in tandem to kind of make for a rainy event rather than a severe event. So we are continuing to look at this over the next few days, but this is definitely a forecast that is subject to change, especially as more of those short range model runs come out. So that is a good thing. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything in chat. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to put it down there because, that's why we're here, to answer your questions and to give you some clarity on that forecast. High temperatures Saturday, 87 degrees Tupelo, 88 Bruce, 91 Greenwood, and 90 towards Belzona. So it is going to be a toasty forecast once again for Saturday ahead of those storms. But then once those storms come, buckle up. It's going to be a good forecast. Ole Miss traveling to Georgia. I said that both of our teams are traveling out towards the east, away from the front. Good idea, Lane. Good idea, Jeff Levy. You guys are doing a great job at forecasting because I know that's what you looked at, right? Ole Miss traveling to Athens, 79 degrees first play, 80 by halftime, and 75 by that final snap. Clear conditions all game long, so if you're traveling to Athens, looks like a great forecast for it. And looking at our SEC football forecast in Gainesville, Mississippi State traveling down there to take on the Gators, 82 first play, 79 by halftime, and 72 towards that final snap. Still with those clear conditions and during an afternoon kickoff. That's pretty good for a Florida forecast for sure towards the afternoon. It's still hot. It's still muggy down there. I always say there's a potential for a pop-up shower, but I think we're past that daytime heating enough to where I don't think that's happening every single day. And then as we come back here to home, this is where the rain really kicks into the forecast because with that front moving in at about 6 p.m. towards western Mississippi, by the time we're getting that final snap of the Alabama game, we could be getting a few of those showers and storms potentially developing there in Bryant-Denny as we wrap up that game time. And I know a lot of folks are going to see Rocky Top head over there to take on the Crimson Tide. So folks out there that are heading to the game, travel safely. Honestly, this should be a good game to watch on TV. And it's free on TV. Not telling you to do anything, but that's what I would do. Also, 20% coverage of rainfall. I might be underdoing it by the end of the game. We could be talking about more coverage by then. I apologize for this. I think that was left in from yesterday's show, but that was just that severe weather risk, which we talked about at the beginning of the show with that level 2 threat along Highway 61 and level 1 for the rest of us in North Mississippi. Still that front going to be pushing through Saturday evening and Sunday morning, clearing out with a few of those pop-up showers. But then the good comes, guys. Our smiles can come back. 87 dropping to 73. Well, buckle up, 64, falling to 46 degrees. Yes, it will be a cool, chilly forecast. I'm saying chilly because I'm going to have the long sleeves on all day Monday. But then beyond that, we have another front moving through Tuesday, dropping those temperatures once again back into the mid to upper 40s for lows and low 70s for highs. So if you've been wanting that fall forecast, you had to go through a little bit of an uphill battle. Literally uphill. We went warmer over the past few days, but now the roller coaster is going to descend. or at least not now, Sunday, but we're almost there. But yeah, definitely, sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Definitely be safe this weekend, and of course stay weather prepared, and we'll keep you monitored here at Mississippi Live Weather. I see Stuart saying my NOAA weather radios are good to go for the possibility of severe weather over the weekend so far. That is always what we want to hear, and we're so glad to hear that you guys are staying safe and okay as this severe weather threat approaches for sure. So we want you guys to continue to do that, do everything you can to stay on the safe side. We also recommend downloading Weather Call. This is available for $15 a year right there. Matt, of course, calling you for tornadoes, calls back if it's confirmed to really emphasize the point, hey, get to your safe place. But it also calls for severe storms, which is a realistic possibility for Saturday, especially for folks out west, and especially for major severe storms as well. Flooding also calls and lets you know if you're in a flood-prone area, go ahead and get ready for those alerts. But $15 a year, and it can save lives. We highly recommend this here at Mississippi Live Weather, and this is just going to add another layer of protection for families out there in North Mississippi looking to stay safe with Saturday's severe weather threat imminent. So we thank you guys for all of you guys supporting and just being here with us, and of course trusting us to keep you guys safe. I see Gene say Saturday 40%. So let's bring it back here into the Room to Room Weather Center, because I'll talk about that forecast a little bit more. So 40%, it has to do with coverage area. It also has to do with time of day. So Saturday, for the most part, is looking like a good day up until about 6 p.m. So 6 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m., that's pretty much the majority of your day at that point, right? So we're not going to say 100% chance of rainfall. Granted, we do expect everyone to get rainfall as that front rolls on through. That's going to be during those overnight hours. So Saturday, not going to be a complete washout. Early on in the day, it's going to be pretty good. But beyond that, into our Saturday evening, that's when that line rolls through. And so time of day comes into the percentage that we issue. And that's why we also have that 20% for Sunday. We're not necessarily saying that there's going to be isolated showers all day long on Sunday. The timing is towards your Sunday morning. So that front basically moving overnight, and that's why we get that 40% for overnight hours and 20% for your Sunday morning. So I know it makes it look a little bit less impactful, but that's kind of our percentage, and we want to let you know that if you have any Saturday morning plans, they're good to go. If you have any Saturday afternoon plans, they're good to go. Up until Saturday around 6 p.m., I would say that's when we need to kind of change and get to where we need to be. If that's steps away from our safe place, or if that's just undercover to block out some of that rainfall. So yeah, I mean, that's a good explanation, Gene. I appreciate you mentioning that, because I don't want people to look at 40% and kind of undermine it. It is still something we need to take seriously, especially with that level 2 threat in place along Highway 61. For folks, just trying to read the comments here. You have the Mississippi Live Weather app set up too. Appreciate that, Stuart. Another layer of protection. Hey, you are prepared. Folks, take notes from Stuart. He has a good head on his shoulders getting all that taken care of. Okay, well, I will look at some comments down in chat here for the next couple of moments behind the scenes, but Matt does have another update from Cairns, Australia. I'm gonna keep butchering that name, but I believe it's Cairns, Australia, kind of showing us his adventure. Looks so much fun, and he gives us a look into what he's been experiencing. Matt, take it away.
Well, hello there, Chief Meteorologist Matt Lophon coming to you from Cairns, Australia, from the freshwater station on the Kuranda Scenic Railway, the train. You can see right there, coming down the tracks toward us, arriving here in a minute. It's going to be taking us up into the rainforest so that we can find out, of course, more about the amazing biodiversity going up there. We're doing a number of other crazy and amazing things there as well. It's actually open air windows on the train, and as you can see, there's a lot of folks here along the platform that are going to be hopping on with us here fairly soon. You know, this part of Queensland, which is essentially the state of Canada that we are in here, major exporters, you can see, of sugarcane. That's what that green is you see behind me here. They're about a week or two away from starting to do some harvesting of that. And believe it or not, they just have banana stands sitting along the side of the road here. Tell me that doesn't sound completely Australian. Again, appreciate the good folks at MLM for sponsoring us here on Mississippi Live Weather and allowing us to bring you these Wonders of Australia tour. But as the train comes into the station here and we get ready to hop on that, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lophon here for Mississippi Live Weather in Cairns, Australia, about to head up into the rainforest on a train. Talk about a combination there. Anyway, show you a little bit up there coming up here a little later.
train kind of taking the spotlight there, right? But yeah, just a great shot there from Kane. Oh my word, he just said it. Cairns, Australia. We're gonna call it Cairns today. Bring out the Mississippi. But nonetheless, we're gonna have updates coming from him all through our day tomorrow for our Friday. So we have Game of the Week. We have updates from Australia, the wonders of Australia. We also have that severe weather threat. Guys, there is a multitude of things to talk about on Friday. You guys need to stay tuned and, of course, stay informed as we get into that forecast. I do see someone that is asking in the chat, Stuart, talking about Colbert County. We do actually, I think it's Colbert, it might be Colbert, over there towards northwest Alabama. So we don't technically in our viewing area, but we do cover that if weather is going towards that county. We'll kind of keep folks informed over there so you can kind of watch us and see what's coming your way, right? And then I also saw a question by Jordan, what is going on with the weather? Well, in summary, if you want to watch this back, I recommend it because it kind of walks you through the forecast. But in summary, we have a front moving through Saturday evening. That's that 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's going to be 6 p.m. and beyond. And embedded within that is a severe weather threat as well. The primary threats we're going to be getting is some strong wind gusts as well as heavy rainfall. But that does all clear out Sunday morning and leaves us with a much cooler and drier forecast. 73 the high temperature for Sunday, 46 for Monday. So have those long sleeves handy, Jordan. It's going to be a cool forecast looking ahead. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be getting in summary over the next couple of days, but we'll have a more detailed look at that forecast, of course, coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center from for Friday morning, for Friday afternoon, and it does have our 24/7 stream as well with live shows at 5, 6, and 10. If you joined us for all 3 shows tonight, thank you so much. But it also has our morning show as we get into our Friday morning. Meteorologist Maggie McCauley will have the latest on that forecast at 6:30, 7, and 7:30, and we cannot wait to see you guys there. She'll have a detailed look too at that Saturday forecast. So if you want to stay safe, watch Friday morning. But we'll see you back there bright and early. Until then, have a great night. Enjoy these dry conditions. And of course, have a happy Friday.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.